Average Outdoorsman here. Today we're doing something cool with my bow. I have a new arrow rest that I had installed. I now have a QAD Ultra Rest drop away, and I've used it a little bit in my backyard, but today I'm going to get it dialed in and make sure that my bow is shooting the best that it can. So today I'm going to do a process called walk back tuning. Last year I put up a video about doing a process called French tuning, which is kind of a shortened version of this, and I'll post a link to that right here. So what we'll do today with walkback tuning, as you can see here on this target, I took just some orange duct tape, and I actually used a level to make sure that these lines were straight up and down and side to side. So what we're going to do, the first step of this process is I'm going to start at 20 yards from the target, and I'm going to use my 20-yard pin, and I'm going to place it right here at the intersection. All I'm worried about at this point is where it lands left and right. So I'm going to shoot an arrow right at the intersection and see where it lands. So let's just say, for example, it hits dead perfect right where I hit, right in the center of that intersection. Now I'm going to step back to 30 yards. From 30 yards, still using my 20-yard pin and still aiming at this exact same spot as I did for the first shot at 20 yards, I'm going to take another shot. Let's say when I do this, so if I'm shooting from 30 yards using my 20-yard pin, my arrow is going to hit low, and that's fine. Like I said, all we're doing is worrying about left and right now. So take the first 20-yard shot, hits dead center. Let's say our 30-yard shot hits just a little bit to the right and down as expected. Okay, so we're just going to kind of mark where that's at. We'll go back to 35 or 40 yards, depends on what kind of increments you want to work in. So let's say we go back to 40 yards. At 40 yards, still using the 20-yard pin and still laying that 20-yard pin right at the same intersection from 40 yards. Gonna take another shot. If it's truly the rest that is out of alignment, if my 20-yard pin hit dead center, 30-yard shot hit just a little bit to the right, and my 40-yard shot landed even farther to the right than my 30-yard, that's telling me that my rest, my arrow rest, is not perfectly aligned with either my string or my sight or all three together. So with this process, if I saw that moving to the right, the farther away I get, I'm going to then move my rest to the left and repeat the process until I can get them all to land in a straight line. So that's the process in a nutshell. I'm going to take my first couple shots here. One special note I will say is you want to use the same arrow for every shot at every distance. So shoot an arrow, just mark it mentally or with a piece. I'll actually use a little piece of this orange duct tape to mark where my arrows land, and then take that arrow and walk it back, take another shot with that same arrow. You want to have everything as consistent as it could possibly be, and that includes your arrow. So you'd hate to be making changes to your bow if really the issue is with an inconsistency in your arrows in some way. So alright, got my target all set up. I have a plan in place. I'm going to grab my bow and an arrow, knock an arrow, and take a couple shots at this and see how it goes. Okay, here we are, 20 yards, first shot. Let's see how it goes. Alright, here we are. First shot at 20 yards, as you can see. Dead center, smoked it, baby. Alright, so that tells me this is a great place to start. Luckily, my good friend Richard, who installed my drop away rest, he also cut and spine indexed these arrows. You can watch that video here. He had an instrument that he mounted to my bow to the sighting holes, and it shot a laser with an arrow knocked and he was able to align it as far as that laser was concerned perfectly straight. So this is a great place to start. I'm going to now step back to 30 yards, and again using my 20-yard pin, aim at the same spot and take another shot. And again, this is a little low, not concerned about that right now. This is only adjusting left to right. So it's going to be pretty easy to know where that landed. It's going to be the only hole in the tape right now. Let's take another shot. Okay, got that same arrow knocked. I'm stepped back to 30 yards. Gonna aim at that same intersection and take a shot, see where we land. Let's go take a look, see how we did. Okay, 30-yard shot. As you can see, landed just a little bit to the right. Now, of course, that could definitely be a little bit my form. There's a slight breeze today, not too bad, but I can't rule that out as a factor either. So 20-yard shot, dead on. 30-yard shot, just barely to the right. I'm going to go back and take a shot at 40 with this exact same arrow. And if I see it falling even farther to the right of this line, I'll know that I probably need to make an adjustment to my rest just a little bit to the left. But we'll see what happens. If it falls right in line, either hits this line or falls just barely touching to the right, I'll probably leave it where it is and just keep on shooting from there. Get my pins all dialed in at my different yardages, and get ready to start shooting some 3D and see what else happens this summer. All right, here we go. 40 yards. Gonna use my 20-yard pin, aiming at the same intersection, and see where this arrow lands for the final step of this portion of my walk back tuning for your compound bow. Okay, this 40-yard shot landed somewhat touching this line here, just to the left, kind of splitting it right down the middle of the arrow. Okay, so I went ahead and shot another group. These two to the left here, I was shooting and it was pretty windy, so disregard these if you will. This here was the 40-yard shot that I took when there was no crosswind, when I waited until it was perfectly still. Dead on the center on the line again. I'm really happy with that. I can't tell you how much confidence that gives me in my archery setup and how much that confidence really plays into my success and to how good I can shoot. And that applies to target shooting, hunting, anything, just even in the backyard, having fun with friends, whatever it may be. You know, it just helps you, to me, it just helps you enjoy it more. You know, when you're successful and you hit your marks, man, it just makes it more fun. So I am really happy with this result. Again, average outdoorsman here. This is how to walk back tune your bow. Give it a try. See what your setup ends up like. Sometimes people are surprised when they think their setup's really good, and they'll do a little procedure like this, and they'll kind of find out that, you know, there's some small changes that you can make that can really make a difference in your consistency. So best of luck to everyone out there. If you have any questions, let us know. Leave comments. Check us out on Facebook. Also just joined UDO Outdoors, YUDU Outdoors. It's kind of like Facebook, but just for outdoors. So check them out and follow us there as well. See you around.